What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Deal Durham Podcast. It's your boy, Isaiah Henry, your favorite community-focused realtor. And in today's topic discussion, we're going to talk about why condos are a bad investment. And disclaimer, my first investment property was a condo, so I'm speaking from experience here, but I want to make sure, again, I extend that information to you to make sure y'all are making the best decisions possible. So again, condos, not a good investment, and let me tell you why. So condos are great. Like, they're cheaper than the average detached home. They offer convenience. They have amenities, sometimes like a pool, gym, boardroom, workspace, and they're usually newer. Like, you're not getting, a lot of people aren't buying like 1930 condo builds. Like, all these condos are usually newer, more updated, at least aesthetically. So I can see where the allure of a condo unit is. But they don't make good investments. I'll say it again. I don't think they make good investments. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail why. I'll give you three main reasons why condos are not good investments, especially here in the Durham region. Number one, condo fees. Listen, anytime they start talking about fees or adding fees to my investments, I'm like, hey, hold up, wait a minute. I don't want any extra fees. It's hard enough to cash flow in this environment. I don't need extra fees complicating my process. Now, condo fees vary widely depending on one condo here, another condo here. The condo fees can be all over the place, which makes it very irregular and hard to predict, especially as an investment opportunity. There's some condos that are like 50 cents a square foot in fees, and some condos that are $1.50 square foot in fees. And even with that range, each condo fee covers something different. Some might cover water, some might not cover water. Some cover hydro, some cover heat. It's all over the place. And even if you take like an 800 square foot condo unit with a max like a $1.50 a square foot condo fees, that's $1,200 in condo fees alone. At that point, I don't care what they cover. That's a very big fee to add on top of your mortgage. I don't know how people are doing it, especially where rates go up there. So that's another reason why these are very hard to make work as investments. Now, these costs can be substantial, like I said, $1,200, and they can go up and down depending on the condo corporation, and you, again, don't really have much control over that. Now, these high fees diminish your overall investment or your return on investment, because at the end of the day, guys, we're doing these investments. We're investing in real estate. We're buying these properties to make money. We're trying to make a return on the money. If we just wanted to live somewhere, we would just find something nice and we wouldn't be on the Real Deal Durham podcast. We'd be doing something else. But if we're talking about investment opportunities, the additional fees that come along with condos really cut into that ROI and kill any cash flow that you may have been getting. Granted, I don't think you're getting much cash flow on condos anyway. Like I said earlier, these are irregular, they're hard to predict, and they're really hard to put into your numbers to make a good decision. Now, the final thing here that literally grinds my gears and makes me say, heck no, these are not investment vehicles, is the potential increase in condo fees and special assessments. So these condo fees can go up pretty much at a whim. Usually they go up every year or every 2 years, just based on the cost of living, cost of ownership, hydro goes up, maintenance goes up, et cetera, et cetera. So those are going to tick up, which again, they're not really going to be in line with that rental increase that Ontario sets up. So it can go up, $50, $100. There's no really regulation that governs how fast or how far they can go up. Whatever the condo board kind of discusses and agrees on, that's what it's going to be. But here's the big kicker: special assessments. Now, special assessments, by definition, I'll read them out here. A special assessment is an extra one-time charge added to the owner's common expenses or condo fees that condo corporations may use to cover shortfalls in their yearly budgets. Listen, I ain't covering nobody's shortfall, but it goes on to say condo corporations generally rely on special assessments to cover single events that impact their finances, such as being involved in expensive litigations or an expensive unexpected repair. Now, with that being said, this is not a good investment because these condo corporations are not budgeting wisely or are exposed to risk in the market, whether that be legal risk or maintenance risk. I, as a condo owner, have to pay for that. And the worst thing here, when you get a big special assessment, you can't just sell off your property and be like, hey, I don't want to pay it. No. Once you're in it and a special assessment is called, you as the owner are on the hook, which really brings down the overall ROI on your investment as well as the potential to sell it in the future. So again, first reasons why I don't love condos as an investment. Second thing I want to get into here is the restrictions and lack of control. Again, I like to control stuff. I like to make sure I know how the properties are operated, and I extend that same mindset to my clients. Now, condos can put in rental restrictions whenever they want, whenever they want. Now, not all condos permit rentals, so you might actually have to be an owner if you own that. And some people get a little too ahead of themselves and like, oh, I'm just gonna go pick up this condo. It's cheap. I'll rent it out. But they don't actually go through the status certificate with the realtor or go through the condo corporation bylaws, and they're soon realize like, oh crap, I can't even rent this out to a tenant. And that, of course, is going to kill any investment opportunity you had there. They can also limit income generating activities across your investment. So let's say you do have a condo, you want to rent out the boardroom, you want to use the pool, you want to rent out the gym. They can just put a big X on that and not allow you to do any of these other income generating activities that would help you cash flow better or increase your return on investment, because again, you don't have control over a condo investment. Now, this can change from moment to moment, year to year, month to month even. And again, this unpredictability and lack of control makes it a very poor investment decision, in my opinion. Now, let's compare it to something like more investment focused, like a fourplex or a 4-unit property. The city's not just going to come knock on your door and say, hey, Isaiah, this fourplex that you bought is now a single family home. So I guess you got to kick out all the tenants and later. That's very, very rare, and there would have to be some crazy zoning amendment or something that's going to happen, and you are probably going to be known well in advance. But in a condo, they have condo corporations and condo bylaws that you are subject to. So if they call you one day and say, hey, owners, we're not doing any more rentals, so if you have a rental, give them their notice, and you kind of got to get them moving. So not only do you have to move your tenant out, now you're dealing with the landlord-tenant board issues that come into moving a tenant out, because again, these tenants have rights. So you're just getting yourself into a world of hurt. And again, is this return on investment worth it? And my answer is heck no. And these are just very small instances where condos don't make a lot of sense. Now, some condos may allow long-term rentals, but they may draw the line at short-term rentals. Now, a lot of people are using condos for short-term rentals because they're nice, they're smaller units, they have amenities, people can come in and out. But again, if your condo doesn't allow short-term rentals, or they create a law or they pass a bylaw 2-3 years after you own it that you can't do short-term rentals, your whole investment strategy may be out in the water, which is something I don't like. I don't like the lack of control. And to build off this lack of control model, condo corporations or bylaws can also restrict the modifications you can do on your units. This limits your customization and limits your ability to really add value to your condo unit. Now, like I said earlier in the introduction, I'm a value add investor, big believer in buying below market value, adding some value to the property to get the best return on investment possible. Now, if the condo corp says, nah, we're not going to let you change the electrical. No, if you want to do flooring, you have to ask us. Oh, no, you can't add a new bathroom. These are all big roadblocks that are put in your way to adding value to your property. And again, limiting your ROI, limiting the amount of rental income you can get, and then again, limiting your investment potential. It's just something I don't want to get in. Pretty much forget the BRRRR method, forget your value add opportunities, because in a condo, it's going to be very, very difficult to get this across. Now, again, you may be able to go under the table, don't look, but again, you're just adding problems for when you sell on the back end, because they're going to look at all these modifications that you did. They're not going to be approved, and you're going to be in a little bit of hot water there. So again, lack of control. I don't like this. Now, if you take away the value add opportunity for condos or the value add opportunity on investment, what are you left with? So I guess you're left with cash flow, but again, I just said condos barely cash flow, especially in Durham. And then you're left with appreciation. So I guess you're just praying to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that this appreciation is going to go from 2% to maybe 10 or 15% for you to actually get a return. Guys, if you're just banking on appreciation, you're not really investing. You're more or less gambling, in my opinion. And again, this lack of control is not conducive to a good investment opportunity, in my opinion. Don't let these condo boards and these condo bylaws restrict you from making the best return on your money possible. Now, the final thing here, why I don't think or I don't believe condos are good investment vehicles, is because of the financing challenges. And oh my goodness, I'm only going to touch on a little, but there's so many. Obtaining financing for condo units can be so much more difficult than a single family home. Single family home, you send your documents in, they verify your income, bing, bang, boom, you're good to go, bank in possession, easy deal. When you're dealing with a condo corporation, these lenders want to see a lot more, especially in the kind of market we're in today. They want to see the health of the condo corporation. They want to see the financials. They want to see that status certificate. And you as a borrower are probably going to have to qualify at an even higher rate because of the condo fees that are added on top of your regular mortgage. So again, mortgage rates are anywhere between 5 and 7% depending on who you're going with, and then you add $1,000 condo fee on top of that and a stress test. Guys, these are so hard to qualify for and really don't add or give you that long-term value that a semi-detached or detached or a freehold house might offer. So again, not the best investment vehicle. Like I said, just to touch on some points to circle back, qualifying with a condo can be difficult with the fees. It's going to hurt your qualifying, especially with the stress test. Lenders are going to give you trouble. If you thought lenders were, up your butt with all this other stuff before, with a condo, they're going to be asking for documents you didn't even know existed. So you're definitely going to want to be able to work with your realtor and your lender, making sure you get all those documents in just to qualify and get this deal off the table. So something, again, I don't love deal with it. Another thing that I'm also noticing that lenders are looking at the number of rental units in that condo corporation to owner occupied units. And if it doesn't meet their threshold, they may not approve you for financing, which is something I'm seeing a little bit more in this rate environment. So something else that you want to take into consideration if you're thinking of condos as an investment vehicle. But for me, that's a heck no. Final thing here is, as a buyer, you're going to have to display a little bit more financial health. Again, just with the qualifying requirements of a condo versus a regular freehold, larger down payments, higher interest rates. These are all things that you're probably going to be subject to trying to get a condo investment off the ground in this rate environment here. And finally, be prepared for some extensive documentation. They're going to want all your financials, any other business income you have. They're going to want a ton of documentation about the condo, and probably they're going to ask for your firstborn child at this point, because I think they're asking for everything, this, that, and the third, to get these condo corporations, to get these lenders to approve you to actually buy this condo. So is all this really worth it? After you take all this into consideration, I don't believe condos are good investment vehicles. Between the condo fees, special assessments, the lack of control of the actual investment, as well as the financing challenges, there's so many better opportunities out there. And no, condos are not a good investment vehicle. Like, this is not an investment I would recommend, and I wouldn't really steer my clients into something like this. The cash flow you're going to get from these condos are pretty much non-existent, even in these rate environments. And if you are cash flowing, just forget about seeing it long term, because after a special assessment or a bump in condo fees, that cash flow is going to be wiped out ASAP. And the ROI, or the return on investment, is very low. Like, I'm not seeing these condos, do anything substantial that you wouldn't be able to get in a freehold or in a freehold property. But again, if your goal is to kind of just park money, not do anything, you don't care about that, it's a different conversation. For most of the investors and most of the people that I work with, they're looking to get some sort of return on their investment, especially when they're investing in real estate. And finally, if appreciation is all you're banking on, because like I said, cash flow is minimal, ROI is low, appreciation is pretty much all you have left, I don't believe you're investing. You're just gambling at this point. You're crossing your fingers, crossing your toes, picking 4-leaf clovers. You're just hoping that this condo goes up in value so you can actually reap some sort of return for your investment. And again, that's not investing. That's gambling. So what can you do? Isaiah, okay, I'm not going to buy a condo, but what can I do? I can't just not buy real estate. I can't not invest. What can I do? Great question. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go get a copy of the Rookie Real Estate Investor. It's free. I'm not trying to sell any of these. Don't worry about that. Go get a free copy. It's going to walk through the 7-step framework to get you started in real estate. If you want a hard copy like this, just send me a DM and I'll make sure to mail you out a copy. Next thing you're going to do is explore these 3 strategies. These are 3 great strategies to get started or get a little bit further in your investing career. 1, house hacking. You get to take advantage of all the residential financing, owner-occupied financing, and it's a great way to get started or grow your real estate portfolio. Number 2, long distance investing. This is my bread and butter. This is how I cut my teeth, and this is what I show my clients in my Living the Dream program. Great way. Look for a tertiary or a secondary market. Go invest out there and live where you want. Invest where it makes sense. And last thing, large multifamily properties. Now, I'm not saying you got to go right off the hop and buy a 100-unit apartment building, but starting to look into those 5 to 20-unit apartment buildings give you a really nice sweet spot that, again, the smaller investors aren't going after and the private equity funds aren't touching either. So if you're interested in that, large multifamily between that 5 and 20 unit is a very good sweet spot there. So guys, condos, they're not a good investment. There's so many other things out there. We can get you a way better return, and there's way better investment vehicles out there. If you have any questions or have any comments, I'd love to hear what you think. Drop me a comment or drop me a review wherever you're listening, and I want to hear what's going on with you. It's Isaiah Henry, Real Deal Durham Podcast, and we'll be right back.